Hello, welcome to SquishiVision, where I'm going to give my thoughts on this episode of Star Trek Picard, Star Trek, or maybe not. Maybe my camera will die, and this will happen because someone forgot to turn the power on. Whoops. Okay, well, let me just. Uh, Stand by. Okay, there's a bit of lag, but hopefully that's not showing in the stream. Hello, we'll start again. Welcome to SquishiVision, where I'm giving my thoughts on this episode of Star Trek Picard, Penance. So this is my immediate reactions, having just finished watching it without any kind of detailed analysis. Also, gonna make this rather quick because Discovery is starting in 10 minutes, and I'm also gonna just mute my iPad and also my watch. Oh God, the saturation of my face, I look like orange. Right, well, we don't really have. Everything is going wrong. Um, I don't know what's happening with the saturation of this camera. To be honest. Hmm. Uh, Everything's really slow. This isn't switching scenes. Oh, now it is. But okay, I'll deal with that. I still look a bit orange, but yeah, this is what happens when I forget to power the camera before I turn it on. This is all going wrong. So we start the episode with so I can't tell if I'm meant to understand what's going on or not by Q's explanations, or if it's just rambling of lines. And I mean, Picard seems to think that Q's not feeling very well, so maybe we're not meant to understand what's happening at the moment of time. But he name drops like a whole bunch of Star Trek episodes. Yes, there's Enterprise. Um, in a mirror darkly. And I like or at least my take of this, the insinuation that actually Q is a Deadpool, has Deadpool like, in his omniscience, he has Deadpool like powers, and actually is aware he's in a science fiction show. I mean, that doesn't seem really out of the ordinary from what we understand of Q, so that's actually quite funny. But yeah, he kind of, seems a bit more unhinged. He gets more easily provoked. He slaps Picard at one point, and then Picard doesn't wipe his nose for an annoyingly long amount of time. Um, Gets really angry, but John de Lancie just spot on, like, portrayal, delivery of lines. Um, just like, the guy is one of the most eloquent actors I know. He's just like, his whole thing is just fantastic. Um, we basically see all the characters realize separately that they're in something is really weird, and we get a different kind of. Obviously, Picard gets an explanation. Seven basically catches on fairly quickly. We actually see what Raffaella does, Raffi, but presumably she catches on fairly soon as well. Eleanor has no idea. Jurati has the best introduction, where she is just completely not catching on to any of the cues, and she makes me playing along until like a couple of minutes afterwards, and somehow still manages to get away with it. And then obviously Rios has the kind of the benefit. Rios, I think, does catch on as well. A bit later on. Also, I do recognize the voice, and I've just seen it on the cast list. The fact that Patton Oswalt voices Spot 73, which is great, and I really hope that's not a limited cameo, and I might actually go back again and watch it and see what happens. But yeah, so each character kind of acclimatizes to who they are, and eventually meet up. And I mean, Patrick Stewart is like just fantastic in this episode. He like portraying this a forced, it's pretty consistent in kind of that Picard is pretty good at kind of playing a role. I mean, he has a history of doing undercover work for some reason, as a Starfleet captain, and he's obviously a diplomat. So obviously he and in universe he is an actor, I assume, because of his familiarity with Shakespeare. So like he plays the role, he's meant to be playing pretty accurately. I like the bit where he's kind of raising his hands to kind of hype the audience up before he executes the Borg Queen. And obviously, all the other characters have more limited kind of abilities to acclimatize, but obviously, between Patrick Stewart kind of play that figure, and he was great, like the level of competence. Q didn't actually comment on his synthetic body, other than the fact that he had a synthetic body. So clearly Q doesn't make a distinction between the two characters. Also, in that same part, you get like a bunch of name drops about Sarek, Martok, Dukat, and we see their skulls. And it's like, hey, have you ever wanted to see a whole variety of Star Trek the skulls of Star Trek characters? Well, now you do. You get to see what Martok's skull looks like. You get to see what Dukat's skull looks like. I think seeing Dukat's skull's kind of actually kind of cool. The Borg Queen doesn't even make a distinction about his synthetic body. It's unclear if she knows his synthetic body. Maybe she doesn't know it's a synthetic body. I feel like the Borg Queen would be less, what's the word? Tolerant. Ironically. And surprisingly, this isn't a mirrored universe episode, although they clearly, make a reference to it because they refer to, they name drop the episode title. But it's actually an alternate universe splintered off. Another alternate universe. God, I've gone really orange again. Is it every time I lean forward? Should I stop leaning forward? This is awful. I look like an Oompa Loompa. That alone is making me want to end this sooner rather than later. And to be fair, and mercifully, in a minute's time, I have to start preparing to watch Discovery anyway. And yeah, it's just like... It's... Obviously, the magistrate was like suspicious of them all pretty much from the get-go, and it's like, well, why wouldn't you be? Surprised he actually didn't do anything more, sooner, earlier, quicker. What's the word I'm looking for? And to kind of address the differences. Yeah, we get some really, really dark scenes of repression. We get the world building of what this universe is. I mean, they're pretty much taking a lot from the mirror universe. Like even the logo is pretty Terran. The only difference is that they're like a confederacy rather than the Terran Empire. So, but it's very similar to the Terran Empire in a lot of ways. So I think it's easy to kind of explain that alternate universe. And apparently we're traveling back in time to 2024, which is like 2 years from now. I think this is probably it's certainly the most contemporary Star Trek for me, having been born in 1995 and only really getting into Star Trek around 2010-ish. So that's definitely interesting. But yeah, there's nothing else pretty much to comment. It was very much it was like a second pilot, because we had to reestablish where everyone was after the last episode. And the other question is what's Q up to? So anyway, I'm gonna end because I'm very conscious that I look like a freaking orange. So I'm gonna go. Oh well, to be fair, I look less like an orange in the stream than I do on my screen. So I don't know what that is, because every other color is different, but maybe that's just like way behind. Anyway, enough of rambling. If you go into my blog, SquishiVision, SquishiVision.arbusweird.uk, so I've changed the URL. In about an hour's time, there'll be an upload, which is my thoughts on the next Star Trek Discovery, which is about to end, so we don't get double Star Trek in a day, but it's kind of nice. So yeah, I will see you next week for the next episode of Picard.